Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post. Woke Hollywood panics as Joker producer goes bankrupt. And if when the first Joker movie that broke $1 billion was taken seriously by this company, they could have worked closely with Warner Brothers to make The Penguin, that turned into a TV series, in the same format as the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix was great in the Joker, but you didn't even need him for the sequel of the Joker. The Penguin TV show is a great example. You could repeat this format very easily. But this producer, Village Roadshow, stopped paying attention to what people actually wanted and what actually works. The number one problem with Hollywood, making things that people don't want to see. From Box Office Pro, the first Joker took in more than $1 billion worldwide. The movie was made on a $50 million budget. The sequel to the Joker, which Village Roadshow was not a part of, but they could have been if they were focused on what actually made money, only did $207 million worldwide on an expanded budget of $200 million. From The Hollywood Reporter, Joker and the Matrix producer, Village Roadshow files for Chapter 11. And from Deadline, strapped indie producer Village Roadshow files for bankruptcy. And now this is their situation. From The Hollywood Reporter, Village Roadshow's bankruptcy. Buyers circle over library assets that generate $50 million a year. Their library assets are the projects they've already produced that they get residual extra income from because they own them. Well, at least they own them for now, not for long. Because someone's going to probably buy them out of their control as the company completely collapses. Any entertainment company, and really any company that does not focus on giving customers what they want, all deserve this type of punishment. It's hard enough to run a business and keep your employees and take care of people when you're focused on what customers want. Sometimes you just can't deliver what they want. It becomes too expensive, too competitive. The market changes. But that's not what happened in this case, and that's what makes this unforgivable. The company filed for bankruptcy protection on Monday in Delaware, adding that there was a stalking horse bidder for assets. A stalking horse bidder is a bidder that will bid at the floor of a price. So if they say they will pay X, that means that in an auction, it's not going to go for less than X. And they have a special tie-up to try to buy the assets. It doesn't mean they're going to get the assets. It means they're kind of in a favored position to get the assets. In an auction, they may have to pay more, but it's like having a better position. A friend on the inside. The film production and financing company that worked on franchises like The Matrix, Ocean's 11, Joker, The Lego Movie, and Wonka filed for bankruptcy in U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the District of Delaware on Monday. In the filing, Village Roadshow framed its ongoing arbitration dispute with Warner Brothers over The Matrix Resurrections as a turning point, effectively ending what had been its most lucrative business arrangement. Village Roadshow was tied up with Warner Brothers releasing successful projects. The Matrix Revolutions came out during the pandemic, so as a result, Warner Brothers, if you can recall, because of Jason Kellar, decided to release en masse on their streaming service their major new theatrical releases. That is a problem, and it did damage the movie, had to have damaged the movie. But when you're in business with somebody and they're a much bigger company, it's a little bit difficult to go suing them and then think you're going to be able to continue doing business with them while you're suing them. It does go on, but you have to really talk to the company and test the relationship and make sure it's not going to blow up your entire relationship, which in this case, it actually did blow up their entire relationship. Gal Gadot got extra money. Patty Jenkins, who worked on Wonder Woman, got extra money. Extra checks were written to stars and favored people, but not everyone's got paid off when they did the streaming thing, and it hurt a lot of these movies. And exactly why Village Roadshow, basically, this is like going and suing your boss at work and thinking that you're going to be able to have a good relationship with your boss at a place that you want to continue to work at, and not only want to continue to work at, like that you actually still have to work at because you don't really have that many other options. That's what Village Roadshow did. They sued their boss, they made their boss really angry at them, and that really helped blow up their business. Village Roadshow sued for breach of contract after Warner Brothers released the franchise film on their streaming service, Max, the same day it was released in theaters, which cost the company $18 million so far in legal fees. Those are legal fees, apparently, according to their filing, they haven't actually paid for yet. They just incurred them by hiring lawyers, not paying the lawyers. And you know what? If you don't even have the money to pay your lawyers, that's not a good time to sue your boss either. Quote, the company historically enjoyed a prolific co-production, co-financing, and co-ownership relationship with Warner Brothers, which included the production, ownership, and derivative rights flowing from 89 titles, including the Matrix franchise. You may not know this. You understand, I'm sure, what ownership means. If you and I co-own a house together, then it's co-ownership. We both own the house. If we're building new houses or producing things together, that's also easy to understand. Some people are not familiar with derivative rights. Derivative rights are anything that flows from that co-ownership. So a sequel, licensing, anything that's like a result of. It's like people getting married, having children, and then earning extra checks based on those children and then their children's children, like your grandchildren, getting royalty streams from your grandchildren. That's how good these guys had it with Warner Brothers. And not just that. While that was a very lucrative deal for them and like a very important, substantial deal for them, not like a side gig, that comprised the vast majority of their business. Definitely don't risk the vast majority of your business unless you're absolutely forced to do it. Quote, even if the Warner Brothers arbitration is resolved, Village Roadshow believes that it has irreparably decimated the working relationship between Warner Brothers and the company, which has been the most lucrative nexus for the company's historic success in the entertainment industry. That's like their entire reason for existing. Their filing continues. Quote, while the Warner Brothers arbitration does not impact the debtor's entitlements, including rights to receive payments in connection with or ownership stake in its most valuable assets, the library assets, it has eradicated. Well, that's very dramatic. They're a very dramatic company. The company has eradicated its own potential income stream from the exploitation of the derivative rights and any new projects that could be co-financed by the company and Warner Brothers, both of which prior to the Warner Brothers arbitration were vital to the company's ongoing success. These absolute lunatics lost their derivative rights. They lost their opportunity that if a spinoff or something comes from one of the projects that they had done and co-owned with Warner Brothers, according to the company, they've lost their derivative rights revenues from that? Yes, it appears they have, according to their bankruptcy filing. It would be enough just to interrupt the relationship with Warner Brothers for a couple of years that you should never even begin to consider to do something like this. And you could always test that by talking to people that you're angry with and being like, hey, if I do this, is it that big of a problem for you? It's important to me because I have investors on my side as well. We have to kind of honor all of our agreements, and our fancy investors want us to kind of pursue this, at least to discuss this. How would you feel about that? They should have at least tested the relationship to understand how furious Warner Brothers would be. But Warner Brothers wants to see these guys out of business, it looks like. And that's why this is happening, because Warner Brothers could throw these guys a lifeline quite easily. And they're clearly choosing not to do that. Village Roadshow listed their assets valued at $100 million to $500 million and liabilities of $500 million to $1 billion. Most of the value is from the company's library assets, with CB Ventura LLC attached to the filing as a stalking horse bidder for those assets at $365 million. So that's the minimum value of the assets that Warner Brothers has. They have debts as well. But when people lend money to a company on a secured basis, they get paid before unsecured creditors. It's like having a mortgage on a house versus credit card debt. If you had a personal bankruptcy and you owned a house and you had a mortgage on that house and you couldn't continue to pay for it, the mortgage would have to be satisfied before any of your credit card debt would be satisfied. Mortgage debt secured, credit card debt unsecured. Village Roadshow has had a difficult few months leading to Monday's bankruptcy filing. CEO Steve Mosko stepped down earlier this year, and multiple rounds of layoffs have left only a skeleton staff. Last year, the WGA added Village Roadshow to its strike list after it failed to pay writers, underscoring the dire financial straits it was facing. Their bankruptcy filing indicates that Village Roadshow had enlisted Goldman Sachs last year to advise it on a possible sale and had found an interested buyer, but the Warner Brothers arbitration stifled the ability to close the transaction. Could not even sell the company, even though they had someone who was interested in buying the company, because of this lawsuit arbitration dispute that the company started with their essentially boss, their partner, but their partner of a much larger size, Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, which is still in arbitration with Village Roadshow over its Matrix Resurrections lawsuit, was floated as one bidder for its film and TV assets. Warner Brothers is just going to wind up probably owning everything, because Warner Brothers is the only company that can give certainty to what's going on with the arbitration And Warner Brothers knows everything on the inside of what's going on with that arbitration. They know how far they want to push on it. Warner Brothers also has leverage in that situation because they can decide to continue the lawsuit or not continue the lawsuit based on how much they really want these assets or how much someone else wants them. It's a complete mess of a situation, and the only company that's going to get something good out of this is probably going to be Warner Brothers. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another story. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.